Bristol Airport's the largest airport in the southwest of England. Our catchment area of passengers comes from right across the southwest of England and from South Wales. We handle about 7 million passengers a year. The business is made up of full-cost airlines, low-cost carriers, a whole host of airlines. Plus, additionally, at Bristol, we have an active aviation community on the south side of the airfield, which involves private flying schools, private owners, and a fixed-based operation that looks after the great and the good using their lovely executive business jets. Over the last couple of years, the airport's experienced a huge amount of growth. We're one of the fastest growing airports in the UK. And that's been a constant challenge to us as we've expanded the core part of the business where the airlines operate. We've had to expand our operating area increasingly across the airfield. And a lot of, traditionally we would have used staff, manpower, to actually manage security in those areas. But as we've expanded, we've had to find that we've had to adopt new and innovative ways of using technology to reduce manpower, reduce operational costs, but also to allow us to carry out the security function in a very busy environment without endangering our staff to health and safety issues, and just to be effective in the dynamic environment that you are working in an airport.
Immediately to my left is our main apron. That is where all of the passenger flights from the airport, and we're a very busy expanding airport, operate. They operate to a greater and higher level of security than the other part of our airport, which is the south side, which is directly behind me, which is where our private flyers, our fixed-based operators operate from. And the challenge in this particular project is that we need to monitor the area between the south side of the airfield where the general flying activity is and the north side of the runway, which is obviously where our passenger flights operate from. We needed to know who crossed it and when. And the challenge for us was to put a technological solution in to monitor that line 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, no matter what the weather was, no matter what the aircraft activity was. And the Navtech system sits directly on that line between the passenger handling area and the other areas of the airport. And it's monitoring the line, and it monitors and lets our control room know that of anybody or anything that crosses that line, then it allows us to make a decision as to whether we need to just ignore it because it's normal business, or whether we need to send security, the police, or any of our colleagues to intercept what could be potentially a threat to our high security passenger handling north side apron.
The primary alternative, or the main alternative we looked at, was actually using the already established CCTV system that we had on the airfield and using then analytics. We tried the CCTV option with analytics and found it was quite susceptible to long blowing grass, some of the animal issues that we had around the airfield, and when we compared the use of CCTV technology against the combined Navtech thermal image CCTV option, it was quite clearly the most secure and the most effective tool that we could use was to go for that Navtech system supported by some of the traditional technologies as well. And it just gave us total confidence that we would be able to identify threats as and when they came across the airfield. The performance, we needed confidence that it was going to be operating, I say, in all winds and weathers, but it needed to also be reliable because where it's situated just to the side of the main runway. It's in a safety critical area, and it needed to be reliable, and we didn't really want any major issues with it, downtime or anything. In the 3 years that the system's been in place, we've hardly ever had a day when the system's not been fully functioning, and that was one of the challenges we set right at the beginning of this project, and it's been more than met. The level of false alarms has been very low. There will be alarms because obviously we're monitoring an area where aircraft taxi, operational vehicles move, and although they are limited, we're quite happy to actually see those because using the CCTV is a visual check. We can check that the vehicle or aircraft that is moving in that area is authorised. Where the big challenge was right at the beginning of the operation was about filtering out wildlife. We're an airport situated in beautiful Somerset, and it does come with some rabbits and some foxes and various other things. And to begin with, we needed to just work with the development team just to make sure that we filtered those out, but we didn't filter out any person that we were looking to identify. It took a little while to do it, but within a few weeks we were able to be confident that it didn't get the rabbits, but it did get the bad people. And that's been a tremendous success for us. The support since we installed the system has been first class. We're working both directly with Navtech and with the integrator that actually installed the system. Whenever we have asked for any support, one of the requirements that we had for the system was that we had a winter mode and a summer mode, because the use of the airfield changes very slightly during the different seasons. And so we worked then with the development team and the support team, and we were able to tweak and adjust settings and the way that it was monitored in our control center, so that it was very flexible to the different needs at different times of the year. And that process has continued now, 3 years later, whereas other manufacturers may have abandoned us after they've sold us something. What we've been really pleased with is the level of support that we've had, both to make our system work, but also to learn from our experiences so that other people looking at this system hopefully will benefit from our experience. When the technology was introduced at Bristol, it was very much introduced on the basis of a security argument. What's happened since it's been installed at the airport is that colleagues from the safety side of the operation, from air traffic control, have seen the potential benefits of this system in assisting us to monitor ground movements on the airfield. We also see the potential benefits of monitoring some of the quieter parts of the airfield where we may have some vulnerabilities through unprotected fence lines. And so we are looking in the future at extending the number of units to give us complete coverage across all of aprons, to cover the whole of the perimeter of the airfield, to address both safety concerns and also security issues. One of the pleasing aspects of this project was the fact that we took something that was relatively new, and by the very effective use of it, we have been able to show other people within aviation that it has benefits that we perhaps didn't see on day one of this project. We would never go back to a situation where we didn't have the Navtech radar monitoring that line, and I don't see of an alternative other than having a person sitting in a vehicle 24 hours a day just watching a line for the rare occasion that something would happen. It doesn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense on a cost basis. It wouldn't make sense on an effective security basis. So we've got it and we're very happy with it.